Yabba dabba doo. George is back on the top step of the podium.
And he ain't playing Barney no more. He's Fred.
The Austrian Grand Prix, Akeem. I think it was the best Grand Prix we've had so far, where the first half of the race was really exciting. A lot of action to unpack.
Facts. I think it was only the last 20 laps that simmered down, but to be honest, it was pure cinema at the beginning. Pure cinema, mate.
Speaking of cinema, that camera angle, that drone as it was following through.
Oh, that was...
Was it turn 4? Yeah, turn 4, 5, and 6. Breathtaking. I thought it was better than the F1 movie.
I know, but I was going to say that, I don't know who that cameraman is or whatever, but we need to hire him. He needs to come through on Silverstone.
He needs to be, exactly. He needs to be there next week at Silverstone, because we need more of that. That was breathtaking.
That was fantastic, mate. It got me even more gassed into it, man. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like, the Austrian Grand Prix really delivered on some exciting bit of racing. A nice couple overtakes. We saw that at least turn 5 and 6. Oh, yeah, turn 5 and 6 was kind of the most common overtaking zones this time round. And I think that maybe might be more down to the regulation with the battery and harvesting.
Yeah, and you saw even Max played some really smart strategies of how he done it as well, to be fair. Especially, you can see moments where he was like, yeah, don't worry, you can overtake me. Harvesting, boom, overtake. They're quite smart, to be fair.
He is brilliant around the Red Bull Ring with, 5 race wins in the past. Didn't have a great day yesterday in qualifying, but did very well to get second place. But we will get onto Max soon. But we need to start off with Fred Flintstone himself, George Russell winning the Austrian Grand Prix. Akeem, I feel like it's only right to start George's win on Saturday at qualifying.
Oh, yes.
Talk us through.
I think there's a meme I was watching, right? And it was just saying, listen, when we take it, innit? We're going to take it. And that's what George did. Technicality-wise, he lifted off and he was able to secure the pole. But with me, right, the way I was watching it, I was seeing like, okay, George, he was like 3-4 tenths up. He was going to get pole regardless, innit? But for me watching it, I was just like, you know what? If it was a Mercedes engine helping him out nicely, it was still the FIA backing him. You know what I mean? Like, you can't beat that. That's an impenetrable wall right there. Just knowing that the FIA are still playing these kind of weird games where even I was watching at some of the moments where it was showing like Kimi said he saw a double yellow. And there was something, and there was a board where it actually said something about the times as well.
Yeah, but with the whole Kimi scene, I don't know what the timeline events are. Don't know the order. But what I do know, what I've heard, is that Kimi obviously saw double yellow, but Kimi was behind George.
True.
And then Hadjar also saw double yellow, who was also behind George. By the time George reached the end of Sector 3, where Max crashed, it was only a single yellow being waved, which is why obviously he lifted off. And then once he got past, double wave yellow came from when Hadjar arrived at the scene. It wasn't when George was on, which is why I guess it didn't show on his dash that it was double yellow. And that's why Kimi was like, well, then if it's double yellow, then why didn't George? But I think in terms of like the sequence of how the events unfolded, I think George just got ahead before
Just
double
about,
wave
innit?
yellows. So I guess on a technical side, I when I watched it live, I just thought, similar to you, I just thought, look, if Max, I know it's if buts and maybe, but if Max didn't crash, George was still, or maybe Kimi could have been in contention for the pole as well, but it was either going to be one of the Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, regardless. That's why it's one of those things where me looking at it now, George was destined for pole because of how high up he was in it. But my only thing is just the FIA in it. I just don't have my whole trust in them. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like they're very finicky when it comes to these judgment. And we're not even talking about Monaco yet. Imagine Monaco's still happening in the background. They're still discussing about this whole event.
Yeah, McLaren and Red Bull are like together as united protesting this, and you wouldn't have thought Red Bull and McLaren coming together.
You know what I'm saying? And it just goes, and this is a whole other, like, I don't want to digress into the whole Ben Silliam thing or whatever, but yeah, man, it's
I heard about this.
he's determined. He's becoming a whole dictator himself right there. He's doing work behind the scenes right now as we speak. He's extended his the age, you know, that I have to stay on until, and he's also made it where it's termless now. So whereas you have a term where you serve and you go away, he's got rid of that and he won the board all round with
Donald
the voting.
Trump behavior.
Yes. I don't. It's just upsetting because I'm just seeing all of this transpire in real time and nothing is being said about this.
So sorry to cut you off, but speaking of FIA, guess what you're trying to go on is a bit of corruption.
Yeah.
What part do you think Mercedes are playing in all this?
They are like they're profiting from it, to be honest.
Because I've been saying this to you from the start of the season, and you were a bit resistant on the idea. I know you like Toto, and listen, I think we all love Toto. I think Toto is a very cool principal, right? He's a cool guy. I'm not gonna diss him.
Yeah,
but
true.
I've been saying to you at the beginning of the season, every decision has seemed to have always gone in the favor of Mercedes. And now you're seeing it, right?
I mean, even with a 2% upgrade, I'm still like, look how powerful they are right now, and they can still upgrade this engine. It's
because they didn't
crazy.
Did they use ADO upgrades for Austria?
No, but they can pull out that car
and
whenever
Ferrari
they want.
Had a 4% increase. Just was nothing against Mercedes' current one. Right?
Oh, was it 4%? Because I heard they said that one was a small. 4%. Yeah, but because they said this one was relatively small in the grand scheme of things.
But still, it was an upgrade today for Ferrari.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that Mercedes didn't use part of the AEDO in Austria, and it's still like them
dominating. It's
just, how did they get it?
Yeah, it's scary, innit? And Red Bull didn't get anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Red Bull didn't get anything.
Yeah, and I think they probably might be still protesting. But
let's not take away from George.
Let's go back to George and what it means for his championship campaign. And we talked about the European stint. Kimi last year obviously had a torrid time last year in Europe. We thought the same, but I mean, Kimi's doing well. Obviously had a bit of bad luck in Spain with the DNF. But we can see that Kimi has also learned from last season. I had a feeling that he wasn't going to fail in the European scene. I put it down to first year in Formula One, just getting used to things. And then second year, he was going to be okay. But now we're seeing George cut down that deficit. Now it's 40 points. Which
it's doable. I mean, there's a lot of the season still left to play.
I don't think we're even halfway yet. No, I don't think we're even halfway yet. So a lot to play for. I'm excited to see, but I don't know with George, and I hate to take it away from him. Like, it's just one of those.
Just about to.
Yeah, no, but it's just one of those victories, and fair play to him. He did what he had to do. He won.
Yeah.
I just don't think he got any challenge from anywhere.
He didn't, did he? I think the most he was going to get was Max. Max was on he was in good charge.
Yeah.
I believe Red Bull let Max down and they left him too long on that stint. I believe that if Max was actually done a pit stop right after George and gone for it, we would have seen a good title.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
I also think Kimi would have been in it. I think Kimi obviously had a bit more of a tire offset to Max in that second stint, so obviously he was chasing him down, but then that kind of slowed down Max for George in the last stint. I just think Kimi probably would have followed Max eventually, would have hit it a bit earlier for that from the second stint.
I get you.
But it's one of those things where even I heard Karun Chandok talk about it, and we were saying the same thing on watching it live. Again, it's just ifs, buts, and maybes. Like, if only Max didn't mess up in qualifying. But I heard that was down to like a rear wing failure, didn't close in time before the last couple turns. But if that didn't happen, he probably would have qualified at least third, would have given him a better chance to battle with them.
But you know what? I will still go one further. I still think with that mistake in quali, he would have still been able to win that race. I still think Max could have won that race, 100%.
I think so too.
100%. It's just these were the two caveats, like in his form, like playing a phone on his sides right there. But I think Max could have definitely won that race. George, he wasn't really challenged. And I still believe that even the Mercedes, as good as they are, I think when it comes to like, combat, being in dirty, yeah, it does work against them. The harder you make that Mercedes engine work, the more prone it is to reliability failures, and we've seen it.
But also on George, like the reason why it might feel like I'm taking away from him, the only reason I'm saying it, it reminded me of, I don't know if you remember Lando Norris's win at Singapore, where he was in a race of his own, and he also had those moments of like, he almost, he just locks up here and there, and you saw that with George even today, where he had clean air for the entirety of the race, and he was messing up, going off track a couple times, and he didn't need to do that. And I felt like he could have won that he could have won it a lot more comfortably than.
Yeah, because I think even if the gap was like 5 seconds at the end, so he didn't run. It was good gap, but he didn't run away.
He benefited off of Max and Lewis squabbling for a couple laps.
True.
He benefited off of that because that meant, okay, Max is not being released. Come attack me in that first stint.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah, facts.
And I just feel like, he benefited off other people's battles, and he was allowed and able to sort of make those mistakes here and there.
And even then, like, just to imagine, Kimi was like, I feel like Kimi was still doing quite a lot of games as well, right there. I think even he could have probably challenged Max. I would believe he was.
That's what I mean. I wonder after that second stint, when George pitted onto hards for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
If Max would have followed George, let's say within let's say 2 to 3 laps, right?
Yeah.
Would Kimi have followed? I think if Kimi had followed, then I think we could have been seeing a different order of the podium. We could have potentially seen Max first, Kimi second, George third, or maybe even Kimi first, because I feel like Kimi had real pace towards the end.
I mean, Kimi was a bit weird at the beginning, though. To be fair, he was just like, he was off the track, on the track, off the track.
But he had brake issues apparently. Like one was hotter than the other, but I guess it's the brake bias.
Yeah, probably, but still, though, man. But you know what? It was still good to watch, though, Kimi.
Kimi makes it exciting.
He does, isn't it? Like he drives a lot more different than the other drivers, and it's very interesting to see because
it's refreshing.
Yes,
it's
refreshing. That's the word I'm looking for. Refreshing.
I love watching Kimi race because you know what, he goes for it. There isn't this, because I think it's just that young mindset of like
eagerness,
I'm just
isn't it?
Send it and see what happens.
Facts. Yeah, I don't think Kimi's a safe driver. He doesn't. He doesn't play as safe. He just goes. He's like a little excited puppy. You know what I'm saying? It's.
I love it. I think we all love to see it. To be fair, let's go over to the Ferrari boys.
Yeah, so down to the prancing horse, isn't it?
So let's set the scene for Ferrari. They're coming into this Austria weekend off the back of a Lewis Hamilton
race win.
First race win for Ferrari. A very dominant, I think it was the most dominant race win of the season.
Yeah,
the
20 seconds, mate.
Margin. Coming off the back of that, I think they were bringing a few upgrades. It was the first engine upgrade. And I think everybody felt that that's the last thing missing in that Ferrari jigsaw. How do we close the gap to Mercedes? It's the engine. So they're coming in with that engine upgrade, and
True.
It kind of all fell flat, didn't it?
Very, very much so. I mean, even the qualifying, at one point, we could have had a Ferrari 1-2.
Yeah.
And it's just
humbling, isn't it? When
it's
Mercedes come in with 2 temps.
Yeah, very. Like, you know what? Like, if you had to tell me, like this, let's just say this Saturday played off differently, right? George's thing didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
You would have had Charles on pole, Lewis in second.
Yeah.
And you're telling me right after the whole, win from Barca, a Ferrari 1-2 in Austria. You're getting me gas, bro. I'm like, I want to see this race. And look, what did we get? What did we get? We got a 5 and 8 or 5 and 7, 5 and 8.
Yeah, maybe 7. I don't know, 7 or 8. Because I
No,
think
I think
Hadjar and Norris finished ahead of Leclerc.
yeah, and I think Lewis,
So I think it's
6, eighth, 5 and 8. I mean,
very underwhelming considering off the back of Spain.
Yeah, it was,
and with the upgrades coming in as well.
It's very. I don't know. Like, it's like McLaren has their moments as well. I feel like McLaren and Ferrari sometimes it's like you expect them to do really well, and then they just fall off the pace completely. And then McLaren, I didn't have McLaren in this at all, and now they were right in there.
Yeah, I felt like Ferrari and McLaren were kind of similar, weren't they?
Yeah, very much so.
I don't know with Ferrari. I don't think they've been. Clearly, they're not being as bad as McLaren. They've been the second best team for the large part of the season.
True.
Very consistent. I think Ferrari's been quite consistent.
Steady horse race, isn't it?
They might have 1 or 2 off races where maybe the upgrades don't work. But I think that's the thing with Ferrari. They come in with an upgrade. I don't think they're a team where the upgrades are going to be great straight off the bat. I think we're gonna see. I think we saw that in Miami, right? But they came in Miami. They had like loads of upgrades coming in. Most of the teams did, to be fair.
True.
And they got better in Canada.
Yeah, that's true. And then Barcelona.
And it's just them fine tuning it as the weeks come by, adding to the upgrades. And I think it could be a similar thing with the engine upgrade, where we might actually see a much stronger Ferrari at Silverstone. Lewis's home race. I feel like they're gonna put all that energy.
Yeah, and I know they're still cooking for Monza. And I think Monza would be the be all end all for me now. If Ferrari isn't strong podium finishes in Monza, then it will show where the season's going, innit? And even for the constructors, because it's gonna be because George and Kimi are strong, man, right now.
Let me ask you this question. More, what's your opinion actually on Charles? Because we were talking on the live. Like, I just don't know what's happened to Charles. Like, what's happened to him? Remember at the beginning of the season, we saw some great wheel-to-wheel action with Charles and Lewis, but also Charles was like, I think he had like maybe 2 podiums at the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, true.
What was that? Japan and Australia.
Yeah.
So he started off really strong, and then as the Ferrari car developed, he started to decline.
A little
do you
bit.
feel like those upgrades are just not in favor of Leclerc? What do you think's happened? The Brembo brakes.
Yes. All right, I'll start off with the brakes, right? So even with the brakes, right, I've noticed that they have a slight preference in it, especially the carbon industry versus the Brembo. I get what you're saying. The Brembos worked with Charles throughout. I know, I believe he's probably had brake issues or whatever, but regardless, he's always been good on Brembos, in it. And Monaco happened, and he's like, guys,
messed with his head, right?
Yeah, I think Monaco happened. I think it also just messed with his head a little bit. It's like, yo, listen, bruv, I think I had it with his brakes, bruv.
He was fast in Monaco, though. That's the crazy thing.
Facts.
But yeah, I guess the brake failure just kind of haunted him. And I probably wanted to go consistent with how Lewis was kind of performing.
Because, all right, let me pose the question to you now, right?
All right.
That's the best way I can kind of answer it. So imagine you're Charles, right? You have everything the way you've been doing it for so long. You've been beating your teammate throughout the whole of 2025. You've actually handed that point to the point where you beat him so bad to the point where he was like, raw, like, I don't even think I'm a good driver no more.
Yeah.
But slowly and surely, he starts to have more input. You know, he starts to say, yo, guys, you know what? The steering wheel, let's do this to the steering wheel. Let's not go with Brembo. Let's use carbon industries. Let's do all these little things. And slowly but surely, you're seeing he's actually developing a little good car. Like, you're starting to notice, like, yo, you know what? He's improving. And let me see what let me try a piece of what he's doing. You know, let me try the brakes. Let me try this and that. And he's not having the same results.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. But at the same time with Formula One, I feel like every driver has their style. And like the garage is split. I just think like maybe, especially when you have 2 number 1 drivers, like for the most part, obviously do the development the major parts the same, but I think those sort of secondary stuff, I feel like the driver should have a bit more say. Like,
Do
I
you
feel like with the Brembo brakes.
Do you think Charles can develop a car? Let's I want to lead to that part.
Well, I mean, clearly from last week I said he lacks the leadership, and he doesn't have that. So maybe I guess my answer is no.
And not only that, but this is the first time in Ferrari's history so far we've all seen them good at the beginning, fall off near the middle, and get better near the end. However, their trajectory this year seems to be more consistent. They haven't had a
they haven't had a dip. Off, yeah, they haven't had a big dip
like they're usually. Because even now, for them to still kind of be about, even though this wasn't their best finish, don't get me wrong, but they're still not. They haven't fell. You know what I'm saying?
I get that. The thing is, right, if you go in favor of one driver's development, the other will suffer. And I think that goes with every team, right? You see it at Red Bull, that I think Red Bull's philosophy is make a super fast car, especially if it's oversteery. And the thing is, they have a very special driver there that could handle most cars.
True.
But then the second driver suffers, right? And
can I throw a little spanner in the works? Hadjar's holding on quite well.
He's holding on, but I think that's kind of down to a start of new regulation. Well, I think if you put Hadjar last year in that 2020 car, come on.
Okay, fair point.
I think, but that's also the benefit Lewis is having as well this season. Lewis of last season was not great. I think Lewis of the ground effects regulation was underwhelming. That wasn't his regulation. He is benefiting a lot more because this regs suits his driving style a bit more, right? I think that's going to happen in any Formula One team when you develop a car that's more suited to one driver than the other. The other driver is obviously going to underperform. I think you're going to see that in every team. And I understand Ferrari going in probably more in a direction with Lewis Hamilton because he's a serial winner. He's come off a team that's won 8 Constructors Champions. He knows a championship winning team. He was also at McLaren winning a championship. He's got the experience. He's got the leadership. Let's follow him. And I totally understand that from a Ferrari's perspective. And why Charles is kind of dipped in form. Look, it could be a major thing down to the brakes, right? It could be a teething period where he's not used to it. He might get better, but I personally don't think he should have gone to carbon industry big. Go with what you are more comfortable with.
However, I have to throw this in there. The last Ferrari winner was Carlos Sainz.
Before Lewis.
Yeah. I mean, where has Charles been?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, like, let's be honest, Ferrari were nowhere last.
Facts.
Ferrari were nowhere. They were nowhere near the front last season. They could have potentially had maybe one win. I think that was back in Hungary. I remember there was just bad strategy from Ferrari's end. They could have potentially got a win. Didn't. It's Ferrari. I don't think Ferrari was way off the pace last season.
But
McLaren
they got a sprint win.
But we all know sprint wins don't count.
I know, but I get you. Okay,
sprint wins don't count. We're talking about Sundays, man.
Sundays, yeah. Cool.
And then this year they have had a car that is potentially can win, and I do believe they're going to have more opportunities for the remainder of the year to win some races. And he just needs to capitalize how Lewis capitalized. Lewis did obviously benefit off a safety car, but even then, I think Lewis was super fast that day.
I think the pace, I think the pace was good.
So the opportunities are there for Leclerc to just crack on and see how it goes. But I don't know. I'm not feeling confident with Charles for the rest of the season. I don't think Charles is feeling confident with himself.
Do you reckon, so if you're a Charles right now, would you go back to your old setup or would you continue on this trajectory of like, you know what, let me just keep doing what Lewis is essentially doing and follow suit?
I think I'll do it for maybe a couple more Grand Prix, and if it's just not clicking, just go back to brakes.
But it's not bad though, to be honest. It's actually not bad too, because even Lewis said like he had to go back and reset himself.
But Lewis did that because it's a preference for him because he's used to carbon industry. with Mercedes, right?
Yeah, not even that. I was saying in the sense that even with the simulators. Remember, he was using the simulators, and then he just said, "Yo, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop doing the simulators."
Well, exactly. It's just preference, isn't it?
Yeah.
What works for one driver isn't necessarily going to work for another. Just go with what you're comfortable with. If you're getting better results with what your setup was in previous years, just go with. Why change just because somebody else is like, oh, but he's doing better with that one. I want to do what he's doing. Like, just focus on yourself. It's the classic thing of like, stop watching other people. Just watch yourself.
Charles, well, I think you need to listen to Ali. Remember who you are, Charles.
I guess the next one we got to go is McLaren.
Yeah, damn.
They
have to
with
remember.
Their Macarena wing.
You know what? I didn't even get to see a McLaren Macarena, which I actually really wanted to see. I think they would actually go down the Red Bull route, to be honest, not the Ferrari route. It's too complex at this point, and to be honest, I feel like the Red Bull one it's big. It's bigger. That's a big gap, bro. Yeah. It's a massive. And I think McLaren, they're smart. I think they're innovative team in it, but they are just having these weird problems, these gremlins, and I don't know if I can't even be the one to really dissect what McLaren's doing right now. That's just kind of all over the place, but it's just I just don't know where to put them now. Like, it's just such a last race they were on podium. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know where they really stand.
You know what? I don't think it's a problem with aero. I think it's just maximizing that Mercedes power unit. Because I feel look at the ground effects era, right?
Yeah.
I think most Mercedes powered teams by the ground effects era or regulation, had sort of kind of maximized what you can get from a Mercedes power unit. Now we're in this new regulation with new engines.
Yeah.
And now you're sort of starting from scratch where, you know, Mercedes has all the cheat sheet. They know how and what to do with the engine to get the most of it.
Facts.
And McLaren are now, and also Williams, Alpine too, they're just looking at it and thinking like, well, because by the ground effects, everybody had caught up in like sort of engine power. Everybody was sort of equal with engines. And now we're starting this, obviously, these new engine regulations that Mercedes are obviously the best manufacturer.
True.
And everybody's just playing catch up. Even their customers are playing catch up. I don't believe like McLaren are doing bad in terms of aero. It's just
engine.
I just think it's just maximizing that power unit.
And so right now, watching this, I also said, like, this is also a rumor I've been hearing, right, about Max Verstappen. If you're Max Verstappen right now, Red Bull continues on this trajectory. Let's just say you could just see into the future.
Yeah.
And 2027 was just looking as bleak as this season. And McLaren said, hey, listen, do you want to come over? Are you going?
The way Red Bull are carrying on its trajectory?
Yeah, if you could see in the future, 2027 was going to be the same. However, McLaren, you don't know McLaren.
Oh, what if like Red Bull are going to be rubbish next year?
Yeah.
You don't know with McLaren. Yeah,
Would
you go with obviously McLaren at that point. But I mean, Red Bull, classic Red Bull, isn't it? It's just they love to play catch up, and they play catch up so well, don't they?
Okay.
Like coming into Austria, I think both of us had a feeling that Max was going to do well. Because even on our predictions, you wanted to put Max in. I put Max in. I just kind of talked you out of it because I had a feeling as well. It's just like we both had a feeling. Look, we know about Red Bull. We know what they're capable of. And it's Austria. It's a Red Bull ring. They're bringing in their second major upgrade. It was always going to be, if they nailed it, if they didn't nail it here, they were going to nail it in Silverstone. Red Bull is a team that you can kind of put your trust in to be like, cool, it didn't work this weekend, but you know what? It's probably going to work next weekend, isn't it? They are that team. And look, if they continue on this trajectory and they keep improving, they're probably like just a few tenths off of where Mercedes are at the moment.
True.
I don't know whether that's track specific. We'll see at Silverstone how it kind of carries over. But if they carry on, it's the same regulation. Carry that car over to next year. Learn from it. I'd say at Red Bull.
Well, I agree. I agree. However, I do think McLaren, they do have that special sauce as well. You know, like
They do,
We
and
saw
they're
them
taking
go
GP.
from the ground effect era. We see them they were at the back, and they were at the end. They're constructors winners. You know what I'm saying? So
I wouldn't.
that's also
Yeah,
a powerful team to watch out for.
I agree, and I wouldn't count out McLaren. Like, they're that team where maybe towards the end of the season we're gonna see a McLaren team that's probably figured it out a little bit.
Yeah,
And going
facts.
into next season, they're a bit more confident.
I mean, let's be honest, they get a 2% upgrade by default. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's. I still think McLaren next
You
year.
can never count McLaren. I think McLaren are probably maybe the best run team at the moment. I'm basing off of also they're the defending champions and they've won the 2 constructors, and like their development in the ground effects like halfway through, what is it,
2023
and
2024?
maybe no 2024, like, and then go on to win the constructors and then have a drivers championship last year and an additional constructor, so 2 constructors and a drivers championship. Currently as it stands, they are probably the best team. Like, they seem to have a bit more of a unity in that team. And look, they're taking a lot of members of other people's teams. Like, they've got obviously GP coming soon as well.
True.
They are a strong team.
However, sometimes even the whole thing of taking over people, are they all going to be able to cooperate well? I mean, you have Honda and Adrian Newey.
Yeah, but that's
in last place right now. That's crazy.
I trust McLaren to do that more than most teams.
Okay.
With Aston Martin, it just felt like, even though they've obviously been on the grid for a couple of years, but it just felt like bringing in someone like Adrian Newey and Honda and everything, it just felt like too much for Aston Martin to handle. They're not a big team like McLaren or Red Bull or Mercedes or Ferrari. So Aston Martin, I think, was a bit too much to handle all at once.
Do you think McLaren could have handled Honda and Adrian?
I don't think anybody could have handled Honda. McLaren tried with Honda. Remember, it was Fernando at the time. And I just think, yeah, Aston Martin and Adrian Newey just got caught a lot of bad luck with Honda. Hindsight's a great thing. If they stayed with the Mercedes power unit, they would obviously be better off. But I think it would be the same thing where, like a McLaren, just trying to figure out how do we maximize the power unit.
Yeah. That's true.
I want to finish up on one topic of Carlos Sainz, because there's been a lot of whispers, but also some interviews coming out with Sainz' dissatisfaction at Williams. Obviously, he made that from a big move from Ferrari to Williams, not by his choice. Obviously, he would have loved to and preferred to stay at Ferrari. But with the arrival of 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, it was obvious that he had to make way. Goes over to Williams, had a pretty good season at Williams.
2 podiums?
First year. 2 podiums with Williams. Like, you just wouldn't expect
that's
it.
Commendable, man. 100%.
And he bought into that project with James Vowles of like, look, this is what we are in 2025. This is our project going forward for the 2026 regulations. And it's just that didn't deliver. It's far off of it, isn't it? And he's probably feeling like pretty crap about himself.
And you know what? I think I'll even go one step further, right? And I would even say, like, when you look at the ceiling, right? I feel like Williams around here.
Yeah.
I don't know how high up they can go. However, if you're Sainz, you're looking over at Audi now, and let's be real, your dad has good connections with Audi. I'm sure Audi would love to have you as well. And Bortoleto, Sainz, I believe that's a good duo for car development as well. You have a new head, you have a senior head in Sainz as well. I believe you get good results. And they're a works team. They have their own engine, and they are already competing.
They're not bad
on that level,
on the points at least.
Yeah, what I'm saying, they compete on that level, and they just started this sport,
someone
right?
like Sainz would be a great addition to that team.
Facts.
With the knowledge he has. I mean, not to take anything away from Hülkenberg. I'm sure he's obviously bringing in a wealth of knowledge as well. But Sainz is just that bit younger and fresher.
Yeah, and smooth operator. I think, if I was Sainz, I'll go over to Audi, because at this point, Williams had this whole 2025 season of like saying, yo, listen, we're invested heavily in 2026. And this is what this is the results. Is there anything to look forward to?
I know, but you know, at the same time, like if you're Carlos Sainz, and I get this is, you know, when you delivered a shit sandwich, it feels like that. Like he's still.
So that to Alonso.
No, I mean, Alonso's been served up, like a couple of them, to be fair. But with Sainz, it's I'd feel, if I was Sainz, I'd feel really upset, just because like you were at Ferrari, and that's like a dream for pretty much every driver, right?
Yeah.
Being at Ferrari, the moving to Williams, being sold a project, but also having a great year in 2025, where you're a bit hopeful, right?
True.
You're hopeful going into that new season,
True.
new regs. You stamp your authority into the team, and it all falls flat. And then the next team up for you to go to is Audi, which is a team that aren't there yet. Let's be honest, they're not there yet. So from Carlos Sainz's perspective, it's like you wanted after Williams to potentially go back to Ferrari, because I know that was sort of in the works, that potentially, you know, he could go back to Ferrari. The door's open there, depending on what happens with Lewis. It doesn't seem like that's happening. He wants a top 4 team. For him to go to Audi, it would be an upgrade, but it was not. I don't think it's the upgrade that he designed.
Granted, however, I think sometimes your destiny is written out for you, man. Your dad having a good relationship with Audi, and they're on the you know what it is. Don't underestimate them, in the sense that you have to remember, like, Audi is still a very like powerful team in motorsport. Period. Yeah. They're very dominant, and I'm seeing very good signals from them. Sainz, you can be that pioneer right now. You can lead them to greatness. For you to win, for you to like get a win in Audi or whatever, that would cement your stocks as a top level driver as well. So I believe, even for Sainz, him just showing good, consistent like racecraft in an Audi, other teams will still want him. I think his stocks will look better in an Audi than it would in a Williams.
Well, Carlos, you heard it here.
Yeah.
Do that. Do what Kim is telling you. Go to Audi. Be a pioneer. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. This is the end of the podcast.
Like and subscribe, guys.
What he said. If you like our stuff, like the video. If you have anything against what he said, comment down on the video. I'm sure you do. But if you love it, subscribe. And as always, we'll see you guys next week for Silverstone.
Peace.